All right, y'all. Good morning. It's what is today? It's Tuesday morning, man. It's pretty cold out. It's 28 degrees. But you know, I'm moving forward. So got a few errands to run. I got to pick up my trailer tire. I had, you know, a trailer tire go out last week. I was going to talk about a few things about and bounce this video off of the one that Chad at Green Acres did yesterday about the lawn truck. I'm going to be looking at the man lift today. I'm going to look at what little I know about it and what little I can really do with it. I need it on a job tomorrow to cut that pine tree beside that house down. I'm not going to go too deep in it because I don't want to disable it, and I don't know enough about these things, right? See how I'm losing, you know. Yeah, there's a lot of firewood right here, Chad. Boy, you can just come down here and get trees and trees and trees. I'm going over here to pick up my tire from the tire shop, you know, my trailer tire for the equipment trailer, and I want to say a few things about, you know, I know Chad did a video yesterday over, you know, the benefits of having a truck, and of course that comes with, you know, I think he said 20 years experience pulling a trailer. So he has had both worlds, you know, but I believe that there are ups and downs to both. There's a lot of benefits of having a truck, though, for real. You know, that can haul the equipment up on the bed of a truck. It makes you a lot smaller. And y'all go check out his video. He did a good video over all that and the benefits. Now this video is going to be more about not downing a truck, because I mean, the truck is pretty good, but there are some downsides to a trailer and a truck. When I say a truck, I don't mean the Isuzu truck, but you know, in particular, just a truck that where you don't have to pull a trailer. And there's a lot of good things about that, especially if you're up in a lot of little neighborhoods and stuff, like Chad was saying. But y'all check out his video. This video is going to be more about the trailer side of that. So one downside to you know, to having a truck and no trailer. Well, the number one downside is you got to buy a truck. Okay, that's the number one downside, and I don't know what they cost, but if they're cost on the scale of what everything else costs, they ain't cheap. We know that. So that's the number one thing, and that, you know, business write-off, but still, you got to buy that truck, and that truck would be just for you know, doing the lawn maintenance stuff, or you know, I don't know what else you can do with that truck. You can haul equipment. I mean, you can haul you know, material and stuff, but it doesn't dump, and it's fixed where you can't, you know. Yeah. The number one thing to me is going to be, well, you got to buy a dedicated truck, and that's going to be the number one factor. Not a good factor or a bad factor, but a factor you have to think about when you're trying to figure out where you're at in your business. Even though that truck is gonna, you'll get your money back, but you'll get your money back with a trailer too. I don't know what those trucks cost. I might need to do a quick search before I get too deep into what those trucks cost. Here's an Isuzu truck. Damn, they're yeah, it's something like, it's not. This is a 23 model. It's got the dovetail. It looks sort of like his trucks. Yeah. So yeah, just a standard cab one is used is 57,000. So I didn't realize they were that much, but I can see that. I mean, I'm not shocked. So you gotta, you know, buying one of those trucks, if you're a beginner, that I don't know that would be, well, even doable. It wasn't for me. There's no way that I could have spent $60,000 or $70,000 on a truck in the very beginning. So you definitely need to be established, unless you got somebody that knows somebody that's got a truck for you. I don't know. I don't have nobody like that, or most people don't. So the number one thing, you got to get over the fact of the cost of the truck, which to me looks like at least $50,000. Okay, and Chad's got two of them. Now, he might have got a deal, whatever. Cool, but you got to carry insurance on them too. And, you know, so you have to weigh all that. And I'm not saying yay or nay. I'm just saying, I'm just giving a perspective that kind of opposite of Chad's perspective. It's just for information purposes, y'all. It's not for not a dig. It's not a, you know, a bad thing or anything. It's just information. So, and I can only speak for me. So the main reason why I haven't gone that route is because of the versatility. Because when I started this business, I had a truck and a trailer, and then I had a bigger trailer, and then I had a bigger truck, and I just never, you know, leaped over into that, because I wanted to be able to use my vehicle truck. It's really all about saving money too. You know, I wanted to be able to use my work truck as a personal vehicle as well. Now, I don't use it as a personal vehicle as much as the car, but it can be. And we did go to Florida in this truck, you know, last week. So and well, number one, the cost of the truck. Number two, the options you have with a truck like that. They're great in the lawn maintenance field, especially if you're doing a lot of turning around, having to go into cul-de-sacs, parking at the bank, and stuff like that. All that makes it, like he was saying yesterday, that makes it really sweet. And my knowledge is limited on how useful they really are in this business, because I've never had one in this business. So you got to note that when you're listening to this video. Now, I've driven them before. I drove a lumber, I worked for a lumber yard one time, and I drove their truck, and they had the Isuzu trucks. And it wasn't with a lawn bed, but it had a dump bed on it, because we would bundle the lumber together for a job, and you know, band it together. We'd pull the lumber from the lumber yard, stack it all up, band it with the metal bands, and set it on the truck with a forklift. And then I get to the job, and I would just back up and I would dump the wood off, banded wood off. Sometimes it'd break the band, sometimes it wouldn't. Very handy. With minimal experience I have with them, and I've never had one where it had a lawn rig on it, where, you know, I don't really, you know, but the obvious things, benefits to the truck, you know, Chad talked about yesterday, and there's a lot. Especially if you're established and you know what your target market is. I'm a firm believer in having options, though, and truck like that with the dovetail and you can't pull a trailer behind it, that limits your options now, because those trucks can pull and haul a lot of weight. It can haul a skid steer, but you just can't get it up on there with the ramp. It'll probably bend the ramps and stuff, just like my trailers, you know. Downside number one is you got to buy a truck like that, and we're talking about 50 grand. We're not talking about 20, we're talking about 50. So at 50 grand, you're gonna have to be established just a little bit, and I'm gonna always want to have a truck and trailer options. Right, Chad is right. I gotta say, I had one truck that I had, pickup truck that I had for years pulling a trailer, and I never had a nail issue in the truck, but I did in the trailer. So out of the time that I've had this truck, I think I've had a nail in a tire on the truck itself, maybe once. I can't think of any more than one time. So that's true what he's saying about the trailer tires are not really, you know. And then you got to look at also, what kind of trailer do you have? What axles are you running? What tire size are you running? See, if you're running the 3,500 pound axles, then the tire size is smaller and it's not as durable, I don't think. The bigger tire you go, the more durable it is, I think. So another thing about the truck, and this is just, like I said, you know, I done said it 3 or 4 times. I don't own one, and I've never owned one. But I'm definitely not against them, for sure. I don't know if they're cheaper to run. Initially, they're probably not, but you got to buy the truck. Now, if you're starting a lawn care business and you have your own truck already, you have a truck like this, or you know, even a F-150 or whatever, then that is well, you're a leg up. So unless you all of a sudden, you know, just invest a lot and not really know about what you're going to be doing, what kind of lawns you're targeting or whatever, then, you know, you're not going to go in with one of those trucks like that. Like Chad said, he pulled a trailer around for 20 years, and then he figured, okay, I guess he figured for his business that one of those trucks or 2 of those trucks would be pretty sweet, especially if you're doing fertilization and all. That's, I mean, that is a if you're doing that, especially if you're solely doing that, that's critical to having one of those trucks. And I don't know for sure what his thinking was or anything on that, but if he went with a trailer for, you know, the fertilization, then that would be I don't think I like that concept. I'd rather have a truck where I don't have to pull a trailer around to fertilize lawns, and you can make your money back pretty quick, you know, doing that. Certainly enough to pay for the truck. Where I differ a little bit, and I'm not right or wrong, and Chad's not right or wrong, is I like to have a lot of options when I'm out here. And for the audience that my channel, I guess my channel attracts, are you probably most likely guys that are thinking about getting in the game, guys that are you know, going through some of the stuff that I go through, guys that are just starting out. My channel is geared toward those type people, because I'm always of the mindset, if I can do it, you can do it. That's what the basis of the whole channel is really, one of the bases of the whole channel is really about, to show you guys that I'm not anything special to be able to do this, and that if I can, you can too, if you put your mind to it. So, you know, that's where, you know, you got to know that before I get into the video here today. I'm talking to guys that are just starting out, just thinking about starting out, or you know, trying to figure out if it's something they can do, right, based on what they have around them right now. Most guys don't have an Isuzu truck sitting around them right now. Some may not. And when I say Isuzu truck, I mean a truck like that. But they're pretty cool to drive, I will say that. I mean, you can see really good in them too. You're sitting up a little bit. The window's really big. You're sitting real close to the front of the truck, in the cab. Like I said, I drove one for a couple of years, so I got experience driving one. But not being able to pull a trailer with it is a drawback to me. That's one drawback. You got the cost, right? And then it can't pull a trailer. Not that you need to pull a trailer, but if you don't want to hand load and hand unload everything, two things. I would either want it to be able to pull a trailer or dump. One of those would be an option that I would try to get if I were looking at those trucks. And I don't know that you can get those trucks that'll dump. I mean, I know you can. You pay enough money. But another reason why I've never gotten one of those trucks, other than the cost and and some of the things that you can't do with them, not being able to pull a trailer is a big deal, because that limits you on like a dump trailer or a skid steer trailer or anything like that. So even though you're saving money not having to buy trailer tires and buying a trailer because you got that truck for the lawn care stuff, that's about all you're going to really be able to do with it. You know, I mean, that's about all you can do with it. I mean, now it'll haul a lot of weight if you can get the weight up on there. Another thing that really jumps out at me, and always has, is if the truck goes down, then you're down. Now, that can be a pretty big one. Now, the Isuzu trucks are not known to go down. They're known to, you know, keep going. So, if this truck goes down, then I can unhook it and grab my other truck and I'm back in business. If I don't have a second truck, I can go rent a truck and I'm back in business. See, and I'm just pointing out some things that I've thought about over the years on why I never ventured into a truck like that. Then you got to weigh that against, okay, blowouts on trailers. Well, yeah, I've had all my trailers except for the small bitty one are 5,500 pound axles or bigger. The equipment trailer is 7,000 pound axles times 2, so that's 14,000 pounds. Now, the trailer tires wear funny, and a lot of that has to do with how the weight is on them, and how, you know, what way you're turning in a cul-de-sac, and there's a lot of factors, and the axle could be bent. Most of the time when the trailer tires wear, you know, from the inside out, in my experience, usually the axle's bent. Now, the blowout I had the other day was on a worn tire, and I don't know if I showed you guys that, but the tires these days have gotten so expensive that people are pushing them a little more than what they used to back when you could get a tire for $100. I don't know what this tire is going to cost, but I guarantee you it's going to be $200 $200 or more. So I don't know, but at the end of the day, you got to have it. Now the downtime and all is something that you got to factor in too when you have blowouts. Now on a lawn trailer, it's a little bit different than a skid steer trailer. The lawn trailer, I could have 2 mowers on there and have a blowout and still be able to drive, use the trailer. I've done it before. But the closer you get to the weight limit of the trailer, the less likely you're going to be able to do that, because it keeps sitting down lower and lower. So the skid steer trailer is real heavy, and you're not going to be able to do that with the skid steer trailer with skid steer on there. For my trailer, you can't let the ramps down either, because the ramps have blocks underneath them, so when you put weight on the ramp, it doesn't put a lot of tension on the back of the trailer. It's got a step that the ramp goes down on and sits on and goes into the ground. So that's another factor of the blowout. So if you have a blowout on a trailer, it ain't always as easy as I made it look the other day. I was only down for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And, but I had to go through some stuff to get back up on the road again. But if that were to happen with a truck, not as likely though, I will say, if that were to happen with a truck where you're not pulling a trailer and you got all the equipment on a truck, and you go down, you have a mechanical problem or anything like that, then, well, now your whole business is on the side of the road, and you don't have any recourse to get the equipment home. How do you get it home? Right? That's a big one for me. But if you buy good trucks, you can really minimize that. And Chad has bought new trucks, so he says there's only 20,000 miles on them, so that's nothing.